very appreciated. Tonight we're gonna have a great conversation about the Idaho Fall case. Today we're gonna have the presence of Speak Van Holding, my brother from another mother. We're gonna be talking about the case. We're gonna be getting into some details on the new conversation. We're gonna try to do a little browsing over the top, like from the beginning of all type of. But let me introduce you, someone that don't need no introduction. Let me have here in the platform of YouTube True Crime, Speak Van Holding. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Oh man, can't complain. It's an honor to always have you here. Thank you for being here. It's very appreciated. I want to send a shout out to everyone here. It's very appreciated. We have Speak Van Holding, which we're gonna have a great conversation about the Idaho Fall case. Let's see what we got here. Hold on 1 second. We want to make sure everything okay. How's the sound? Now everyone, Speak Van Holding. Can you hear me? On the other side of like is you watching the live stream? How can you hear me? You know everything good?
I can hear you well. I got top of the line equipment.
All right. Thank you, Dover. I appreciate it. Big shout out to Yang, Top Petite, Unknown Color. Thank you everyone for being here. It's gonna be a great conversation. It's gonna be a great conversation today. 1 second.
If I'm turning this up, do you have I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. You tell me if it's interfering. Would that be an interference? I can turn it back low. I just want.
No, yeah, go ahead. Do what you need to do. Everything is good. I'm just over here making sure everything is legit. Okay, I know what it is. Okay, get it. I just don't want no unnecessary monitoring sound. Everything good. How's everyone doing today? Are y'all ready to talk about some true crime? I was watching football today and I was like having a conversation with Speak Van Holding, and it was few things about the case that it was calling my attention, between the latest documents and between things that I believe that are very important for this case. Big shout out to Damris. Thank you for being real. Thank you for being here, Damris. Very appreciated. Big shout out to everyone here. Hopefully everyone is enjoying your night. I was watching some football. It was a great Sunday football playoffs. It was great. It was amazing. Had a lot of fun. So I was having a conversation with Mr. Speak Van Holding today. We was talking about, first and foremost, we was talking about, the works and the content that he's working on, and he got some new projects. He also working in a new case that he, as always, he's helping the community. I don't know if you wanna elaborate on the projects that you got on your show?
Yeah, it's two projects. I'm helping two people. They locked up in the Upchurch jail in Dallas. They've been locked up quite a long time now. None of them are guilty. That I do know because the evidence is not there. Their story has remained consistent. The attorneys have failed to advocate for them. So I can just pretty much tell you that Karen Garner will go free, and Omni Williams, she will go free, because even if she's convicted, I can guarantee a reversal. That I can guarantee, because all the pieces of that they're there, and because I know how to get it reversed, I know how to argue, I know how to cite the law. It's a guarantee. And just recently, a lawyer, Omni Williams' lawyer, Mr. Philip Barton, he went down there on the 12th, which was last week. That was that day. He tried to trick her into signing a release of property. Jrod, you take if I sent you this document, you can show it later on?
Yeah, go ahead. You could send to the email, and I could take a look at it.
Okay. And it's just that's some of the projects I've had. So as you can see, I've been turning out videos because I'm passionate about that. I'm pretty motivated about that. So not only that, those videos are to be used as evidence. So I have to upload them, and because it's going to follow, I can pretty much see exactly what the attorneys are doing. And that's one of the good things about knowing the law. You can pretty much determine how your attorney is approaching the situation, and you can see when he's railroading, he or she will railroad. So those are the new projects, but I will be speaking on the Kohberger, the Richard Allen, the Karen Reed later on too, but these particular things take precedence over there at the moment, so I will be tuning in. I will be tuning in with other things on true crime, but my station, Speak Van Holden, you may wake up one day, I'm cooking a steak on her. That's what it's called, Speak Van Holden. I didn't want to confine myself to one thing, because this station will eventually grow big, so I'm taking my time. Back to you, Jrod.
Yeah, thank you, though. I appreciate. Now that you mentioned the O'Keefe case from Massachusetts, and also the Delphi, do you wanna give the public your latest take on the O'Keefe? Just give me like a little over the top.
Well, I tell you what, like this here, when it comes to the Karen Reed case, what you got to consider is one thing I like that her attorneys are doing. They are openly advocating and showing their support. They are not cutting corners when they're saying that it's a cover-up, which is a good thing. So when you see attorneys getting out there and they are directly saying it's a cover, that means that it is a cover, and that means that they have the evidence to show that. You don't get that with every lawyer, because if Karen Reed is truly guilty, think about it, people. All the people at the party had to see O'Keefe when they came out the party laying down. So if they came out and he was actually hit by Karen Reed, if that's what they're alleged, then you saw him. But so far, people, the evidence that Karen Reed run him over, true enough, Karen Reed was drunk, she was with him. But the evidence that she hit him is just not there. So pretty much like this, she's gonna be found not guilty, because if you go back and look at the videos with her in the courthouse, the attorneys are arguing the cases. The people that's sitting out there watching it, clapping, because that right there is a sign, people, how the jury gonna see it, and the prosecutor know that, and that's one of the good things when you're innocent. You got to get out there and let the world know you're innocent. Sometimes you got to get out. You don't have to really speak on a marriage subject case, but you openly advocate and promote your innocence. And this is one of the things why they're really mad at Turtle Boy, because I was thinking about Turtle Boy today, and they have that's what Turtle Boy is doing something that he should be doing, bringing awareness, because we can all become victims to this police corruption. And if they are convicted, and go after the innocent, come on, ain't nobody safe. So we got to speak up.
Yeah, it could be very troubling if indeed law enforcement are actually not just behind the murder, but behind the cover up. I think that'll be very sad for the community. It'll be a bad signal sent to the community. Like as well, we believe and trust in law enforcement and we support them, but at the same time, we fully aware that they humans just like us, and they could get influenced by bad entities.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be some of those officers that, unfortunately, due to the fraternal order police, they gonna take things to like fraternity type of levels.
Uh-huh.
So if something like that do to occur, I believe that if the behavior within the department is fraternity like, I believe that if something like this happen, and indeed is some kind of like law enforcement involvement in the crime, it's a possibility that they will go by the same rules that any other fraternity would go, and these just secrecy and loyalty, and they just pull through, and whoever falls for it, as long as it's not us, because remember, that's the people in power, that's the people in the state. And the problem here is that 9 times out of 10, if law enforcement are behind what's going on, if that's the case, it's even worse within the court system, because those people, they all know each other. They all work together, the state, the DEA, and they all support law enforcement, and law enforcement support them. So it's like they're gonna crash each other's back. So I totally understand that it's a good possibility that there is police corruption in this case. And thank you for your take on that. I believe that we will have time to talk about that in some other time. That'll be great. Do you have any update on the Delphi case?
I don't really have any updates, but I will say this here, that Richard Allen case is a classical case where when your attorneys I'm not going to fault Richard Allen because it's attorney job. Richard Allen don't load off. When your attorney do not have a speedy preliminary hearing and don't push for a speedy trial, in a lot of situations, 90% of the time, you'll find yourself being found guilty because it's a lot of time passing. And me and you spoke about this in a private phone call, Jrod. I said when the first judge was on there, when they first arrested him, there was a kidnapping because of the way that they did it, because it wasn't done. And I say that once they want to get him locked up, and once they transferred him, the reason for transferring him was to prison, so they can start giving them psychotropic drugs and manipulating so they can get a confession, and that's what happened. But that confession is of suspect. So the bottom line is, we're dealing with the end of these cases, like especially with the Richard Allen case, is that they simply don't have the evidence. They have a narrative, right? And then when you look at the unspent bullet, it's just not enough. So when they realize, because the prosecutor know the law and know what they need, they'll start crafting some type of scheme to build. And one of the schemes was, like I say, I do believe that Richard Allen was on psychotropic drugs and he was being threatened. So when he goes to visitation, he would say that. But because they really had nothing. And this is why I say, had he went to speedy trial, had his lawyer not waited, he'll be walking free now. But once they arrest you and invest it, they know that they can be sued. So what they'll try to do, they rather just mess over you than you showing that they was wrong and you sue them. So that's going to be an interesting case, because at this point it's at a standstill.
Thank you for that take. Very appreciate it. And again, I wanna say that because I was looking at the chat. Big shout out to unknown caller. I just want to make sure that it's an understanding that we over here we 100% support law enforcement, but we fully aware that it's a 50-50 out there. It's a 50-50 of good officers, and it's another 50 of not very good officers. So when we having these conversations, I know it's very tough for a lot of people, because again, we want to trust law enforcement. Again, without law enforcement, it'd be nothing but chaos. So, but when we have tough cases like this, for example, like the Delphi case and um, Idaho 4, even the Kiely Rodni case, you could see the influence of law enforcement within these cases that I don't think that is appropriate. Like, I believe, big shout out to Amy Conway, I believe that it's not good when well, baby. One second, guys. Sorry. Robbie. Mommy, you got her? Okay, sorry. It's a busy house. A lot of children. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second, please. I'll be right back. Speak while holding. Give me 1 second. If you wanna talk to them, talk to the chat real quick. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Okay, I guess I have to talk to the chat. Well, let me tell y'all something while he's gone and we're waiting on him. It's very important that if you ever get in a legal problem situation where you're arrested, always find a way to communicate with your lawyer in writing or have somebody on the outside and ask him to file for a speedy trial. And once you do that, just don't do it. Do it every 3 weeks. Keep asking for it. Ask for discovery. And just keep pushing. Because the minute they start violating your rights, even though you're guilty, even though they have the bulk of the evidence, if they violate your right at some time, they forfeit their right to continue to prosecute. That's what a lot of attorneys ain't won't tell you. So if they in order for a conviction under the laws of this country to be valid, they must respect your rights. Any violation of your right to get a conviction means that you wasn't given a fair trial. And if that error or failure to give a fair trial constitutes to the conviction, it's an easy reversal. So I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Jrod on point.
Yeah, and thank you for that, brother. I have an issue though. I have an issue with these cases. It's very difficult for me to sometimes even think about the details within these cases, because if you ask me, the most important thing that it should happen on every case is a good investigation since day one. Does again, everybody talk about the first 48, and I do believe about the first 48. What you feel on the first 48 within let's say the cases that we're talking about right now. Let's say, for example, the first 48, let's go back to the topic of today's live stream. What you think about the first 48 and the Idaho 4 case due to your research?
You say that.
Like, what's your opinion?
In regards to what? Could you be a little bit
as far as the first 48 of the case, like in the way, let's say, the people involved and authorities handle the narrative, or at least what was shared with the community, because at the end of the day, we only know what is being shared by them.
Okay, I understand what you're asking. Well, when you look at the fact that with this murder, when these quadruple murders first happened, the problem is that the police, because they control the investigation, remember people, the law enforcement, it ain't just what the Supreme Court said. They've been lying. When they investigate, they can tell you anything. Because the reasons for not really telling you the truth is because they need to be able to change their narrative at will. So when you look at the case initially when it happened, uh, the roommates, I'm not going to call them survivors because they're not survivors. We got to quit giving into this narrative that they are survivors. They're roommates that was at the house. And there is no, law enforcement has failed to give a reason that if they really spoke to these people and they asked, well, what took y'all so long to call? They gave you an answer. But let me back up real quick. You may not know this, but everybody, the two roommates was given immunity for anything that they say before they start speaking with the cops. Because we already know people use imagination. The two roommates contacted their mothers, their family, before they talk to law enforcement. And any intelligent person, mother and father, gonna say, well, don't talk to the police unless they're gonna give you immunity if we there. And the thing about it is that we all know when a person dies, they do their last bodily functions, the defecate, the piss, and then over time, the body, you're gonna smell it. And so when you look at the whole fact that they alleged got a phone call of an unconscious individual, ask yourself, if there's 4 people dead in the house, well, if we don't know where they was found dead, we don't know. They tell us in a room, but we don't know that. That's a narrative. But I have to, based on the fact that they didn't have the speedy preliminary hearing, they don't want us to know what's going on, and law enforcement has cleared people too quickly. They failed to look at the inner circle pretty hard. They cleared them. In a quadruple murder, you don't clear people this quick just because they have an alibi. You have to test that alibi. And the only way you can really test them, all the people that they claim to have cleared, they would have to have pulled their cell phone records, and they didn't do that. So there's no way you can do a proper investigation without looking at the people closely around them, the boyfriends, the phone calls that night, etc. I do believe that Moscow PD is covering up some things. And so when I look at the case from that standpoint, we have to just wait and see how it play out because they have the daggone, and as you know, right today, they are still filing supplemental motions for discovery. And I just think that when Ann Taylor had Kohberger waive the speedy trial, I just feel like this is a ruse because it's not going to be a trial. That's just my take from what I've seen. I just can't see it being a trial because you got everything you need. It's time to go to trial. So the waiver of the speedy trial to me, as well as the preliminary, it sent a signal to me. This is why Judge kept asking him, are you sure you want to do this? If we have to keep resetting it, something come up. That was a signal to me that it's not going to be a trial. And that's my take on that.
Thank you, though. I appreciate you, brother. I believe the first 48 were very, very by protocol. Like, for example, like to have a crime scene of that magnitude with the wounds that there are, alleged again, because we haven't really, the forensic report has not been shared, but due to what the family has shared with the community about it, and also we could tell, it was blood outside the house through the walls and stuff like that. So that for something at that level to happen, I believe that it was very, very graphic. So it was signs of struggle. Where is signs of struggle is signs of screams, yells, is signs of alert. So if indeed these two individuals these two young ladies that at the end of the day end up walking away with not even an investigation, just literally. I want to make sure that people understand an interview is not an interrogation. An interrogation is when there is the possibility of you being part of what's going on, or at least whatever you say is going to be used against you in the court of law. But when it's an interview, it hit different. It doesn't have the weight in court as if officers are asking you questions as you might be a possible suspect. I just want to make sure that never took place. They were never named suspects. They were never investigated like they needed to be done. Because again, if you put that much of effort on a Kohberger night shift or whatnot, you should have put a little bit more of effort in actually investigating within all the inner circle, all the immediate people. And I keep stressing this over and over because people need to understand the importance of when a crime scene like that or any homicide investigation, the immediate people, the inner circle surrounding these victims. Big shout out to Jrod. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. The people. Okay, and especially, okay, if they give you the title of survivor and you really didn't survive nothing because you wasn't wounded, you wasn't, because again, for you to be a survivor, you have to be attacked that night. Like, for you to be a survivor, you needed to suffer an attack from the killer or killers, and you survive an attack. That's when you become a victim. But then, in a situation like this, in my firm belief, Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen needed to be questioned with the severity of suspect. Big shout out to Sergeant Popeye. These young ladies needed to be questioned by authorities and investigated to the max extent of the law, because it's the same effort that you put into a DNA on the night shift. You should put the same effort for the other 2-3 DNAs found, a third DNA found around the surrounding of the area, and 2 DNAs allegedly within the surroundings, within the vicinity where they found Kohberger's DNA. So the same effort needed to be applied to investigate thoroughly, because if you're going to do IgG for one, you have to do IgG for all, period. You can't be like, okay, so we found 3 DNAs within the vicinity of the victims. One allegedly is Kohberger, and the other 2 unknown. Or they probably know who they are. And that's the whole reason why all these case is looking in the way that he's looking, because he's twisted like that. It's like working backwards. It's like, okay, I have all the evidence, but I'm just going to look away. And somehow we're going to figure this shit out to the point that having the capabilities of modern days these days, they could be able, if they up to it, because I'm not saying they did, but it seems and it looks like they're enabling a bad investigation of this case. The problem here is Why? Is it one, neglect from the PD, or two, the PD was forced and influenced by the University of Idaho to be this way? What you think about that, brother?
Well, you gave a lot in regard to what I think about, because you kind of went on.
No, far as the last take, is it neglect from the Moscow PD, far as not being well experienced in homicide investigations, or B, it was influenced by the powers to be, which in this case is the University of Idaho, to be in a way it seems like, because again, basic training tells you that the people around the victims is the first people you're gonna question, and if those questions are not answered articulately, they're gonna be looked at as suspects. That's a fact. It is nowhere around that. It's not like, if, for example, this is some facts. Let's get people some facts, okay? The victims and everyone around this case, all the money trail end up in the University of Idaho. Everyone. Judge Ann Taylor, Bill Thompson, Chief Fry, the majority of the officers of Moscow PD, from fraternities from the University of Idaho. We're talking about everyone that is pointing fingers at Kohberger belong to the University of Idaho, and they have allegiance and loyalties, and it has already a report, sit down and dinner and probably have vacations with the network of the University of Idaho and Greek Council. What you think it could be? It could be either neglect from the officers, or it could be some powers to be that is affecting this investigation to look like that.
It's both of them. Moscow PD, as you noticed, they have, like they done admitted, they haven't had that type of crime down there. They didn't have the experience. This is why they don't want to give up the training logs. The people that arrived on the crime scene, they didn't have experience. I don't even think a crime scene forensic had experience, because they never expected that to happen. As you see, they entered the home without putting on the proper footwear. And every time you kept seeing Moscow PD, you had the president there of the university. The murders did not happen on the university, so there was no need. It's no different than any city. If a murder happened at anywhere else, why would a CEO of Procter & Gamble or Starbucks always be in the midst? Of course it's been influenced, and this was make the whole thing encompass.
Because that's what I believe. I mean, think about it. You're gonna utilize, instead of you utilizing the best of the best within your department with the most experience, you're gonna give such a case like this to someone that this case is actually his first case, and with not even years of experience in the force. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, they just promoted him to detective that day.
That's what they do when they want to invite you to the good old boy system. Keep your mouth shut, make your money, get your pension. It's not you said earlier that I mean, that's you. Me personally, I don't support law enforcement because they don't need my support. The reason why I don't support them is this. When you are getting arrested, the first thing they say is, you have a right to remain silent. anything you say can and will be used against you. That declaration is a declaration of war. Let you know, no matter what you say, we'll try to use it against you. The law enforcement has the full backing of their agency. So I support my right to a fair trial. But me myself, I just want to be clear on that because it's an issue of law. I don't support them. I don't. If you notice early on, it's always been the Supreme Court has reaffirmed that law enforcement has no duty to protect the public. That's why I don't support them. They are muscle to protect the city, and if that's just my opinion. I just want to express that because remember, they don't have police never had a legal duty to protect the public. If you look at who pay the police, who they work for, they have a union. Okay? If you really get involved with how the police work, the police lobby to take away your rights. This is why I don't support it. That's just me.
No, and I totally respect that though, because he's fair. He's fair. You very knowledgeable on the system and the intricacy of the whole legal system and law enforcement. I totally understand that and respect that. A scholar of the book of law, self-taught, as you, a legendary true crime figure, and I'm very humble and very appreciated to have you here today. Let me take a look real quick to the chat, so like that we do some housekeeping real quick. If you see anything in the chat, speak Van Holden. If you see anything in the chat that you wanna answer back or you wanna interject with it, feel free to do so, okay? Because I'm looking at the chat right now. Big shout out to Teller, to Ellie. Big shout out to Jane. Thank you for being here. Big shout out to Amy Conway. Big shout out to Joanne. Sergeant Popeye.
Like Amy Conway said, have to show the evidence. We ain't really seen all the evidence. We heard a narrative. And like I said, we haven't seen the evidence. So we have to wait. We just speculate, give our opinion. I agree. They got to show some evidence.
Big shout out to Top Petite.
Somebody say Sergeant Popeye in the university now has more land to make money on, which is true.
Big shout out to Kiely.
They donated that. Whoever owned that house, the LLC, they donated it to the Moscow so they can the university so they can have control. That's how tight knit that community is, man. To where this is why I say Kohberger, the way that they doing it, he will be found guilty because look, you just give these folks a house to Idaho, it's a tax write-off. You ain't really gave them none. You're making money. It's just, hey, out of y'all business, we don't want to interfere with it. Because had it stayed with the LLC, it would have been still up there. And so they already working together. Thank you, James.
Big shout out to Joanne. Joanne said, hey, everyone, I'm here, but just jumping on for a few. Got some devastating news today about a friend. Sorry to hear that, Joanne. Hopefully everything is good over there with your friend. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, I'm just looking at the comments, and I agree with all the comments. The comments are intelligent and they factual. They have to show us, like I said, they proceeded with a narrative. And so we can only give our opinion and our theories based on the narrative. But what we do know is the fact is, there was never any survivors at all. Nobody survived that quadruple murder. We have to put that in perspective, people. Nobody survived. And since the two roommates have not came out and articulate the 7 to 8 hour delay, it's very suspect. It's very suspect.
Yeah. Big shout out to Top T. He said a lot of in and out traffic into the crime scene is really sketchy. Yeah, that's a detail that, again, if you ask me, should be taken in consideration. Because as soon as the authorities knew, the first and foremost, it was not a call to authorities for 7.5, 8 hours with a story But in the same sense, in the same breath, and with the same story, you telling officers that you have your friends in there, in and out the apartment, and we talking about friends and family members of the victims in and out the house. And people don't want to talk about that. People don't want to talk about Ethan's brother and sister being inside of the house knowing that their brother is dead.
Yeah.
Why they don't talk about that? Knowing
it should be noted.
They knew before anyone else that their brother were dead.
It should be noted that I think Ethan has a triplet. They triplets, correct?
Yeah, they triplets, and they in the same college. They hang out. They like listen. They as triplets, you know what your other brother or sister are doing and what's going on, and everybody know. So if anything happened to them, they know how to get at you and talk to you and tell you about it, negotiate, you know, be like, listen, being approached by the powers to be and be like, listen, call your mom and dad, I need to talk to them. And these all happening way before cops get called. Because actually cops get the knowledge of what's going on without even a 911 phone call. But they're going to give people the story that it was a 911 phone call for a pass out roommate. Fuck out of here.
I can pretty much conclude that nobody ever called in and say an unconscious roommate, because if they called in, that is a person that should be subpoenaed by Ann Taylor to the place, because it's really germane to the subject. But like I said, at that point, I lost all trust in what the credibility, because it would be impossible for me to walk in that house the way that they say it's a bloodbath. Okay, so if I was talking to you about this on the phone call, Jrod, if you had blood oozing out the side of the wall, you know the blood came rushing out the rooms under the door. So I mean, it just don't make sense.
I mean, because I mean, remember, it's two different dead bodies. One is a pretty big body. The other one not too big, not too little, not too petite, not too, you know what I'm saying? Is medium size body. I believe like on that take of the wall, you know, let's say for example, if you know the Santa's body was close to the wall, you know what I mean, it is a possibility, even though if Ethan was by the door frame, between the door frame and the bathroom door.
I can pretty much say this. I'm really confident that Dylan Mortensen didn't see anybody. I'm confident she heard something. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that, because initially Moscow PD represented the fact that they was asleep, they slept through it all, they didn't hear nothing. But as they thought about it, how the blood scene was, they knew, well, if the people really see this crime scene, everybody they're not gonna convict Kohberger, they're gonna look at y'all now. So they changed the narrative. They put it on the second floor and say, well, she saw him. Think about this. If you saw him, you open the door and he's just walking out the sliding door, that's their narrative. That's what they're saying. But we don't know that. There is no evidence to that. That's just an assertion.
So I'm gonna speedball with you. I'm gonna speedball with you real quick for the chat room, because we got very great chat room. We got a great chat room right now. We such amazing comments right now. We're gonna get to those right now in a little second. Let's speedball real quick. Let's make a movie. Let's say, for example, the names that are being mentioned way before Kohberger, okay? And this is named from their peers. You know what I mean? Who tells me that Dylan didn't took a swing against the victims. You know what I mean? Like who's gonna tell me that even Bethany didn't took a swing to slash the victims? Like how do we know that the not survivors but the other two roommates didn't participate on the killing? You even have a footprint, a bloody footprint that obviously got washed, because the only way you could have seen it was with black light right in front of Dylan's bedroom, and it was a Vans. Oh, what about Dylan's got Vans?
I mean, I agree with that position. I mean, like I said, when it first happened, I say they know something. The thing about it is, we can't really prove they did it, but if you look at it, the theory is there. That's why I say they was never friends like you think they was. But if you really think about it, you got friends that died. You wake up, you don't want to talk to the public about it. Come on now.
Yeah, no, and it's like I know. I tell it to Ellie, who said big size for Dylan, but you remember Dylan is tall. Dylan got big feet. She's tall. She got big feet. So they cannot say they can't even say that that's Kohberger shoe print, because they don't even have a Kohberger Van shoes. They will even be used in court.
Think about it. Chief Fry said, I don't think I ever said she was a witness. She never said she wasn't either. But Chief Fry said, the roommate, he already stated, the room, I'm not going to discuss what the roommate say. This just be sort of further to put it together. The reason why you're not going to discuss what they say is because it won't make sense. Just like you go look on the social media, when the police come and you got witnesses or what happened, they'll say, oh, we know the witness said this. But in this case, they don't want to tell you anything that Dylan Morrison or Bethany Funk may have said. And the reason why, because it won't make sense the rest of the story if you heard it. This is why you never heard it and you never will.
Right.
Remember, they indicated when they live streamed the trial that when some people testify, they're going to take it off the live, like blot out the live stream so a lot of public don't hear it. They really don't care how many people hear it in a small courtroom, but they don't want, why wouldn't you want the world to hear the testimony? How's the testimony going to put somebody in danger? This is a trial. So if you saw what you saw, if you're alleged in a probable cause affidavit that what you saw, why would you block out the testimony for millions of people not to hear? Why? Why would you do that? Because it won't make sense. Right then and there, millions of people would turn and free Kohberger. Although the evidence against Kohberger is circumstantial to none, remember, I said he's guilty. I'm just basing that on the fact that he waived the speedy trial. That's it, and the fact that he remained silent. But when you look at the evidence, they don't have nothing. That I will say. Because who to say that the traffic in and out the house, they didn't leave the sheet? Who to say Kohberger didn't give them the sheet? The knife sheet don't place him there at the crime. The cell phone pings don't place him at the crime. It's just it's not there.
And thank you. I appreciate you for highlighting that, because it's very important for the community to understand basic common sense, though. Because for me, it's very, very important. And the thing that everyone should pay attention to is the narrative of Dylan Morrison is that she was awake and she heard and she seen things. So if you heard and you seen things, you heard, even though if you didn't seen or you didn't participate it, because again, we're going to give her the benefit of the doubt, but no one is going to tell me, because again, we don't know. So no one can even debate with me like, yo, it's not a chance that the two survivors were part of the whole situation. probably taking part on the killing. Like, we don't know that. It was 7.5 to 8 hours differential for authorities to get there. So if you ask me, between those 8 hours, anything, hi baby, anything could have happened. Anything. And I mean, the people that could be responsible in 8 hours, you're already not responsible, because you're already being coached, and you already probably even did some cleaning. We do not know what happened within 7.5, 8 hours period with people going in and out this house. That's a problem to me. Which is the same people that did not got investigated. That's a problem to me. If you inside of this house way before authorities got custody of the crime scene, and you did not got investigated, you did not got questioned on some serious stuff, you phone data on everything, what's your alibi? What were you doing? Where you were, with who you with? This is simple questions that you ask to people. For example, the Dylan Morrison and Bethany Funk, and anyone that they reported that he was inside of the house needed to get investigated and DNA swapped. Because you don't know if you're going to find those DNAs inside of that home, and now that could be your possible killers. We don't know that. The family members did not got investigated. So who tells me that probably brother and sister hating on the third brother, even though they triplets? Who tells me that they couldn't plan something like this? We don't know. It was not investigated. So the possibility and the chances are still there, because it was not investigated. It is a problem when friends, roommates, family members, boyfriends, ex-boyfriends, lovers, haters, and everyone else. It's a problem with me, and I keep making an emphasis on that, because it's a problem when you do not investigate them. Like, you went to the extent that you went for Kohberger, you needed to do that, and plus with the inner circle, you needed to drag everyone through the mud to rinse them out and then clean them up. Because if no one had dirt on them, then they get cleared up. But you have to investigate that. You can't just take face value and be like, okay, cool, have a quick interview with you and talk to you, give you an update, what's going on, but you're not gonna ask the tough questions. Where you were, what you was doing. I need your phone. I need all you. Listen, I need everything about you. Now, I didn't know you yesterday. Today, I need to know everything about you. And you better say something that it makes sense. Because if not, you be my first suspect. I don't care if you're mom, dad, boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, brother, sister. I don't give a fuck. Murphy the dog, I do not give a fuck. Someone needs to say the right things and quick. Because no one is going to tell me that a massacre, a slaughterhouse, a sorority slaughterhouse occurred, and the immediate people around these victims did not got investigated at all. No one. Jack DeCour had an alibi way before Bryan Kohberger had one that everybody's laughing about. And Jack DeCour alibi, his backup alibi, is his friend from the fraternity. Who the fuck gonna believe anything they talking about in court? Right, bro? They friends. Yeah. They friends. And even if you check it out, even Slutty Goose was talking about, big shout out to Slutty Goose, was talking about how Idaho court looks at a alibi, a friendly alibi that is not going to be taken into consideration. And not even because it's a friendly alibi, and they knew that friendly alibi from the very beginning. You did not investigate Jack the Core. You did not investigate Maddie's boyfriend. You did not investigate no one. So you cannot tell no one how you got to Kohberger. Because again, the only way that you could have got to Kohberger was through the inner circle investigation. The only way to find connections between those victims and the killer or the killers is through the inner circle. You cannot just skip the inner circle and fabricate something. It's like, yeah, we're gonna just stick this spaghetti on you and you're gonna roll with the punches.
Not the spaghetti.
Yeah, listen, they kidnapped what, Rich and Allen?
Oh yeah, that was a kidnapping.
In the same way they kidnapped Bryan Kohberger. Because how in the heck you gonna have the same proof that you showed to the court, or actually the same proof that you haven't showed to the court of the discovery of evidence that you have not showed the court yet? You already show him the IGG shit bullshit, but you didn't show him nothing else.
Well, check this out.
So how you, I'm sorry, brother, so how you willing to go cross the nation to go get a warm body and you're not ready to prosecute? Yeah, I just don't get it. You really want justice for the victims or not? Do you really got evidence of this guy or not? Because if you do, you might as well can't wait to cook him. Like Speak Van Holding, if you was the DEA on the homicide investigation, and let's say in this case you was Bill Thompson, and Moscow PD, FBI, and everyone investigating this case give you all the proof that he will cook without, listen, with all benefit of the doubt, all T's gonna be crossed. Listen, we nailing this guy at the cross. Don't you think that you be like hungry and telling the judge, get this show on the road for the victims, for the community? We have the proof. We have all the evidence to cook this guy, and look at him right in court, and look at him and tell him right on his face, you cooked. And I can't wait for the judge to sentence you.
The problem with going to a trial, a public trial, this is just my theory. If a lot of, we talked about this today, earlier today.
Yeah.
A lot of people are under the impression that the prosecutor and Ann Taylor had an agreement to actually have a preliminary hearing. Bill Thompson only agreed to them having it later rather than sooner. He never said, he never waived he had the discretion to have a preliminary or indict. But I was telling Jrod that Ann Taylor and Bill Thompson already knew it was never going to be a preliminary hearing. This is why they have Kohberger waive. Remember, Ann Taylor said that they need to waive the speedy preliminary hearing to conduct discovery. You don't need discovery at a speedy preliminary hearing, because even if you conduct discovery, they don't have to give you all that you need to go to a speedy or preliminary hearing. All they got to do is give you a police report, and that's it.
Go ahead, brother. Sorry.
That's okay. It's just like a time delay. That's why. This is why it was never intended to come public about the facts. And this is why I tell y'all people that don't expect a trial. Don't expect it. And if it do happen, it's gonna look so clownish, the questions that they ask, the way they move, but I can't see it happening because they keep the facts too close. But go ahead, I don't want you to get your thoughts.
I really believe, if you ask me, brother, that if you go all the way to the extent to go to cross the nation and get a warm body, you should be ready to prosecute. Because again, I have a big question for you, and I think it's very important within this conversation. do that secret indictment could have got done way before they got the warm body, or right away they got him? Like, why they wait if they intention? Because again, remember they did this secret indictment situation when timing was running out for them to give him bail, because you can't hold people without for a case like this. You could have only hold him for a while, and then when it was time due for him to get bonded out and fight the case outside, you come and hit him with a secret indictment before time runs out to make sure that he don't get no bail, because they knew that if he get any bail to fight this case from outside, the whole community would rage. And it probably would not be convenient for the University of Idaho anyway, have this guy outside looking for information to fight his case. So way before he had the opportunity to get the time limit for then him having the right to bail, and the only way they could have keep him inside a jail locked up was going behind everyone's back and hit him with the secret indictment. And my question to you is, if they have what they have for a secret indictment, could have this got done before they went and pick him up, and or this could have got done right away as soon as they got him?
Oh, okay, I'm gonna answer the question, but I want to clarify something. I don't ever want to mix. I don't ever want to misspeak on a legal thing. So I want to just bring something to your attention. It was not a secret indictment. That's something that the media is using. That was not a secret indictment. It just was an indictment. The prosecutor has. You can waive an indictment.
That's actually the name that they utilize for it, though.
Yeah, but that's not correct. So it's not correct. It's an indictment. That's all it is, an indictment. From a grand jury where they take it in front of 12 people, they say, hey, look, we believe that because the grand jury is secret, it's a one-man show for the prosecutor. He can show them what he wants. He said, we got this. They show him this. We got this with the police. To them, that's probable cause. But today, right now, just why it's on my mind. They've never had probable cause to arrest Kohberger, because I'm going to show you why. Probable cause up under the U.S. Supreme Court cases, and it states that would lead a reasonable person to believe, based on credible information, that a crime probably occurred. And let me show you why they never had probable cause. If you had probable cause to arrest him, and they say the probable cause standard is low, just enough to say it's enough to bound you over to trial. If that was enough, why would Bill Thompson and them continue to investigate? This is what a speedy trial says. This is what I try to tell people. Once you arrest me, you already know I have a right to a speedy trial. So if you still investigate and you don't have everything you need, that's going to conflict with my right to a speedy trial. But where they play people that is this. Once you waive that protection, it's you pretty much at their mercy. So it was just an indictment that they could have got at any time. They can arrest you and charge you. Remember, they still got, depending on your state like Texas, they can arrest you. But if you don't make bond, they have 90 days to indict you in Texas. But if you make bond, they got 6 months to indict you. You see what I'm saying? And think about it. Think about all the people that get out on bond and their attorney never move to dismiss the indictment for failure to indict within that time. Think about that. People make bond, they just be happy to be out. But their lawyers would never attack the fact that you didn't indict them according to the statutory law. And guess what? You can be as guilty as crazy and walk free. But if you don't attack it and assert your rights, remember, I'm going to say this again. You don't have no rights unless you assert them. That's just what that is. They don't exist unless you assert them. Simple as that. Think about it. How many people get out and they get indicted a year later, but they never push to dismiss the indictment based on failure to indict in a speedy time frame within that statutory frame?
And I believe there is a lot of trickery within the court system. You know, like let's say for example, I believe that a DA, if he was a corrupt DA, I believe the DA could have really just simply just put move the right pieces where it needs to go to actually make a narrative in court, even though that narrative is outside of the truth.
They look at, Moscow, Idaho, they looking for that close-knit jury to believe that. Think about it. They went to a grand jury. You already know that grand jury that made up, they're going to talk around town. You won't know about it. They got it set to convict this man to protect the interests of that entity. Give their kids, come on, things go behind closed doors. So we got to be wise, you know what I'm saying? If you're into true crime, you got to think those possibilities. You understand? It's the real world. You know. You definitely know.
Yeah, got to look for all the angles because we cannot just sit there and act like, we got to look at the possibilities. And if a possibility don't make sense, then don't make sense, but you still have to look into it to see if anything is there. You know what I mean? Because if we act like, the world right now that we live in is not at that level of corruption, I don't know where you've been living, where even the presidency of our nation is being put in question. You know what I'm saying? Like when we at that level, when the FBI of our nation is being put in question, when, come on, the top ranks of law enforcement being put in questions on the federal level, what we are going to believe that the local level is doing, especially when for example, if the person that's supposed to supervise you is corrupt, what you think this person gonna do?
Amy Conway said she prayed that Ann Taylor is not, I guess like she said, not in down on it, but she keeps saying that the judge keep denying it. But see, I'm address, if I address Amy Conway,
yeah.
Jrod. See, this is why when they asked him, do you want, or you sure you want to waive this speedy trial? See, when you waive that protection, you set yourself up for this. That's the waiver of a speedy trial. I don't think these attorneys on the media, social media with their station, I don't really think they want people to really understand how powerful that right is. So a lot of them are like, oh, I agree. I would waive it if you need more time to investigate. Think about this, people. When they arrest you, they say that they got everything they need to convict you. When they arrest you, they say they're ready for trial. This is one thing these lawyers don't want people to know. If you got probable cause to arrest me, and once you arrest me, you know that the constitutional right to a speedy trial and a statutory right, depending on the state, is triggered. So if you arrest me without all the evidence, you already intend to violate my speedy trial. This is why you must assert it. Assert it or lose it.
And,
so how they say, you gotta win the lottery ticket. You gotta collect it before the deadline.
Right, I totally agree with that, and also the take of Teller to Ellie and Amy Conway when we was talking, and Jane actually, and Top Petite, when we was talking about the it seems the judge is playing too friendly with the prosecution, because again it's a very detailed that we've been talking about, and it was that one day that the judge said that whose rights are we violating, like whose rights we are violating. Like the conversation is about Bryan Kohberger, but then out of nowhere he said whose rights we violating. Soon as he said that, it gave me the heebie-jeebies, and I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, it's no way, it's no way, bro.
But what you
There's no way, like, unless you are zombified and you like you know what I mean, MK Ultra zombified, is the only way that you could say something like that.
But remember, at that point he had already waived his right to a speedy trial. See, what I want you to understand and I want your subscribers, the prosecutor can play games with discovery. He has a right to play games with discovery. The law gives the prosecutor that leeway. This is why you never waive a speedy trial. Look, no attorney is gonna really tell you this, but a few, because they make more money staying on your case. Think about it. They'll tell you, look, you got to pay me this amount of money every month. If they know they can get your case dismissed in 2 months, why would they do that? And they can keep getting $1,000 or $1,500, $3,000 a month from you. Why would they do that? That's why it's important to educate yourself on your rights before you have somebody waive them. That right is very important, man. I can show you cases where a person committed a crime, the evidence was there, but they violated his right to a speedy trial and they reversed it and let him go free and they acquitted him because you can't try him again.
Is it Ann Taylor is a good representation?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
No, she's a popcorn. That's a popcorn crackerjack defense. Put it back on the shelf.
But do you think that'll be beneficial? Like, let's say, for example, in case of he get cooked, due to that we don't know what's the final discovery. But let's say in case that he get cooked, won't that help him on the appeal?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. If you go back to Judge, and that other lady, they asked him, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And that right there had my hair standing up. They say, "You sure?" Because if somehow we got to put it out, then put it out. Right there, this is what I'm telling you. His opportunity to beat that case is when he would have said, "Yeah, I want that speedy preliminary hearing." After they extradite him, he made that arraignment, the plea. 14 days later, they had to come with the preliminary hearing. Look how long it took them to convene the grand jury. You have to understand, Ann Taylor is working with them. Think about it. Had they had a speedy preliminary hearing, we would have knew what the roommate said, what they said, what the nature of the call. See, the 911 call would have been came out and said, well, what was the nature of the 911 call? What exactly did they say about the unconscious person? How exactly did they try to awaken them? So we don't know. How exactly did they try to awaken them? If you go back to the coroner, one of the news reporters say, well, when you got to the scene, it was bloody and gruesome. How do you make that reconcile with the phone call? You know what the police say? I don't know. Because they know it's a lie, man.
And how?
If you think it's gonna be a trial, it ain't. It ain't happening.
Well, we already passed the hour that we was talking about. So, on Speak Van Holden's take, it's not gonna be a trial, right?
If it do be a trial, he gonna get found guilty. It's gonna be funny, but honestly, I'm leaning to the fact that it's not gonna be a trial, because if it was gonna be a trial, we would already know more information. If you look at it, they looking to close this case out without the public really knowing and let them fight it on appeal where nobody really know the facts. And then at some point, it may get reversed, but you're still not gonna know the facts, because at that point, they're gonna let him go free.
Speak Van Holden, thank you. Speak Van Holden, thank you so much for that take. Before we go, I want to make sure that we go over this one particular topic, and it's about the 11 discovery requests. They have a trying to dismiss the indictment again, and also one of the other reasons why they have for that is malicious prosecution. Like, they have quite a few angles that they attacking for dismissal at the same time. I believe that they have the proof for the angle. It just has to be accepted by the court. What's your take on these later documents that is being put out there for the people to see? Even though it's being sealed, the majority is all sealed, but whatever little bit of information we have gotten, just at least knowing the docket.
I can't really read anything into it because when you're doing discovery and you intend to just go to trial, the courts will give you a date to close out where the discovery must be complete so we can move the case along. Since that has not been defined, I can't see a trial coming. It never. I just don't see it. And the only way that I can see that this case is playing out is a trial in the dark, because the motions that's been filed to exclude or not to exclude evidence, this is just not how a trial is done. It's just not. It's so irregular. It's so off the chain that it's not even considered. It's not even legal to what they're doing.
Like, so, in my understanding, you said that would, it seems not even legal.
Yeah, that's why I say that the way it's playing out, he can get convicted and then get it reversed and walk. But at the same time, you have to look at the fact that if they keep everything secret now, when they go on appeal, how would that affect the appeal? Are the appealing court going to seal everything? Because when you argue in the appealing court, evidence got to come into argument, and then when it's reversed, we need to, it's like, this just illegal, man. This is not how it works. That's not how, you can't seal motions and not let the public know what you're doing. Because that right there erodes the presumption that he's innocent and that y'all can be firm. Because now when people go to the trial, we really don't know what the hell you're doing. Because everything is, then you're going to have sidebars at the same, Jonathan, we folks going to talk about this. It's not going to, the reason why I say it's not going to be a trial because it's just going to be too off the wall. It's not gonna work.
Don't you think that what they doing with all this secrecy, because allegedly all this secrecy is to not let many details out into the community, so the jury, the future jury pool wouldn't be affected or influenced with what is already discussed.
You cannot. Let me explain something to you. The jury is the judge of facts. Okay, the facts. They determine what they want to believe, the facts. And so, think about this here. You already, from the beginning, said it's Kohberger. You said the DNA matched the knife sheet. So, you have never brought to the public's attention that, well, they don't have no proof that it was a K-boy knife. They don't even know what knife it was. So, who's to say that at the time that these people was murdered, that Dylan or one of the roommates or anybody else has placed that knife sheet with Kohberger DNA on? Who's to say that didn't happen? Because it don't place it now. The whole thing about this, no matter, if you look at the atrocities of many different crime trials that's played out in the media, you can't have this thing that, we keep a thing that people prefer a trial. That's a ruse. That's the rules, because the public has a right to know that law enforcement are actually doing their job, because anybody can be subjected to this here. The whole thing is a rule to make you think that they really care about his rights. If you really care about this man's rights, you would give them all the IGG information on how you got to him. That right there invalidates what they said. But let me explain something to you. Ever since the courts got in bed doing business, this is why they want your DNA. The court says it's okay to courts. Because the courts make money out of this year. They're not going to tell you. See, once they start contracting with these entities, the departments and your stuff, justice got twisted. Okay? So in your various states, you see, they suspend your license. The courts never had the power to suspend your license. They contract with the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles and stuff like that to do that. These are contracts, people. So when we get it, when the courts got in bed with this, it's about money, and you got to look at it. This is why they always say that we'll let it play out at trial. But think about this, people. Do the presumption of innocence really exist? Think about it. If they accuse you of raping a woman and killing her, everybody's gonna say, "Oh, you're gonna hear the comments. He needs to be put under the jail. He needs to do this." See, people don't wait. They just say, "Oh, they'll give their opinion." See, the presumption of innocence is a smoke screen. You have to prove your innocence. And the only way to do that is to assert yourself. You don't never have to take the stand. If the evidence don't fit, and it's from the beginning, why do you think? Look, let me tell y'all something. Ain't no trial coming no time soon. Cause let me tell you why. The way that they keep prolonging it. If it's gonna be an actual trial, why haven't Ann Taylor moved for a change of venue?
Don't you think that could happen after these latest documents drops? Like, don't you think that this could be like the very last attempts, like to decide if they're gonna go to remove the judge or they're gonna change the venue?
No, okay. Like I said, me and you talked over the phone. She taking a long way home because she making $8,000 a month. Okay, the longer the case, the longer the money. Okay, so this is about money with Ann Taylor, and so guess what? She got them to give her $8,000 a month. Think about that. This go on for 3 years. Add it up. This woman stand to make $1 million or $700,000. That ain't include. Hey man, when have you heard this type of defense by a state for indigent person? When have you heard of this? Look at Charles Manson. They didn't even give him that type of defense. I don't know if you know who Charles Manson was. Probably.
Yeah. Charles Manson.
So, come on. This don't even make sense. It's an act. It's a play act to cover up the fact that Moscow PD should have arrested those two so-called survivors. They should have been arrested, man.
What about if by any chance before we closure, what about if Ann Taylor playing their game and knowing that these guys not gonna get no type of again not having the evidence, knowing that her client is innocent, if that was the case, don't you think that she probably just playing along because she knows it's not gonna go nowhere against Kohberger? And she just like literally, okay, do what you do. I'm just gonna sit here, get paid, and at the end of the day, these guys gonna walk. You there, Speak by Holding? I think we lost Speak by Holding. Let me see. Let me see if we reconnect with him.
That was me. Hold on.
You good?
That was me, Cop.
You there? Big shout out to Speak by Holding. We having technical difficulties right now as we speak.
Hello, Moto.
Hello?
Yeah, that was me calling you back.
All right, my bad. You good? We here.
I don't know. I'm on the computer, so it just dropped.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you real good.
All right. Can y'all hear him? So yeah, before we close, don't you think that they even though like due to the she know it's really nothing there that they have?
Well, no, I don't.
Like she just playing along. Oh, big shout out to Jane. Have a good night, Jane. Don't you think that she probably knowing that they don't have nothing against Kohberger, she just playing along and just letting the ferry wheel spin just because she know they ain't going nowhere anyway?
No, I don't think that. I think she know that they have enough, but it's not enough to really secure a guaranteed conviction.
Right.
It's not enough there. So what she's doing, she has to play it up. Think about it, man. If they giving you $8,000 a month, what do 4 years look like after that? Huh? Versus a year.
That's a lot of Hawaii vacations.
That is an incentive to fight as though you're really advocating him because you already know the end result. The reason why I say she know the end result is this. You already know what the roommate said. This is why you didn't have a speedy preliminary. Based on my real life experience with the prosecutors and attorneys, she already know everything. Her job is to keep the public in. She already know everything.
And I tell you, man, I tell you, man, it's a pleasure and it's an honor to have these conversations with you, man. And someone such a eloquent and man, thank you so much for all your support and your collaboration, brother. Before we close, anything that you want to get into, let's say upcoming videos on your channel or anything that you want to say on your closure on the Idaho 4 case that you want to share with the community?
Yeah, I can do that. As far as the Idaho quadruple murders people, based on my experience, real life experience with the courts and judges and attorneys, and Taylor has been handpicked to keep the facts, the information of the case closed. This is why they waived the speedy preliminary hearing, because that was the setup for never having a preliminary hearing. And if you notice, it took Bill Thompson months and months after that waiver to convene a grand jury and get the indictment. So, here's the crazy part about it, and what you got to understand. The reason why they agreed to go to the grand jury, because that same grand jury was designed to go out to the public and poison the minds of all the potential jurors. See, this is why I say it's a guaranteed conviction. Even if they go to a different change of venue, it's guaranteed. This is why they needed to be in secret. See, the grand jury is secret. So who's to say that the prosecution didn't pause in their mind after the minutes was off the minutes? Okay, I'm record now, y'all. This guy did it. Spread the word. We need a conviction. It's so quiet. It's so quiet. Guess what? You know why the president is so closely to this investigation? Because that president is being used to give scholarships, half scholarships, partial scholarships to people that could put that will, for the community. If y'all, hey, if we can get a guilty verdict, give y'all some scholarship. That's why he's a prominent player. I'm looking at it from a reality standpoint. Hey, we need a conviction because they know the evidence ain't there. This is why that probable cause is missing a whole big story. It's like buying a Harry Potter book and cutting out 300 pages. Something missing. Think about it. Bribes happen all the time. Mark Cuban is a millionaire or a billionaire, but he gets caught doing inside trades. You would think he got money. Why is he doing inside? He don't have to break the law. How do you think they get rich? They get rich by breaking the law through schemes. So think about it, man. The university has influence. Think of all the people who want to go to college. Hey, we know what, we give you $10,000 scholarship. They got enough money to give everybody enough to influence a jury scholarships, but you won't know it happened. You'll never know it happened. That's why it's a guaranteed conviction. Guaranteed. I just look deep at it.
You see, I appreciate for that closing statements, though, even though they agree to disagree. In my firm belief on my last takes on tonight's closure, my belief is that they just buying time to let this die down in the background with time. The people, they think that people will forget about this. The new case gonna come up. I believe that they just pacifying the community, having a guy behind the jail, and so they don't be scared and thinking that a killer is out in the community, or killers are outside of the community, so they don't be freaking out. I believe that they just utilizing Kohberger to pacify the community, let the community forget about this, and at some point Kohberger is gonna walk back home.
Hey, I hear you. I respect your opinion, but you know what? You look like you had sleep when you said that.
Hey man, listen, it's like we have this conversation, man. I respect you so much, and I respect your opinion.
I'm jiving with your opinion. Yeah, I mean that could be one of the things. It's just our opinions because they hide the facts. We just giving our perspective. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
No perspective is wrong. No perspective is wrong.
No, man, and I tell you again, because in a way, you see the vibe, the tone, the composure, I pay attention to detail. Like when you speak and you talk, like the articulation. Listen, man, we appreciate, even though if we disagree, agree to disagree, and even though we do agree in a lot, and our disagreements are very little, you need to know, man, that I appreciate you so much that we have the opportunity to actually disagree in the case, and still be brothers, and still have tough conversations, and able to brainstorm and collaborate in the way we do, man. For that and more, I appreciate you guys. Speak Van Holding.
I got one other thing I want to tell your subscribers.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm gonna go live probably at 12. I'm gonna go live about 1 o'clock. I don't know if y'all gonna be up, but even if you're not up, you go check this live out. I gotta put the finishing touches on Philip Barton, who's been crossing out his client Amelie Williams. I have to put the finishing touches on here and put him in the graveyard because I want him to know I'm coming for him. And I want Judge Tracy to know I'm coming for him.
You know what? I will be on that live stream. Please, all our viewership and subscribers, please, I appreciate if y'all meet us over there on Speak Van Holding live stream within an hour or so.
I'm gonna be going live my time at 1 o'clock probably. More than likely it's gonna be 1 o'clock. But I don't know what that time is for you.
Yeah, that'll be 2 o'clock for me.
Okay, your subscribers probably be knocked out, but I'm doing it for her. But I like her to chime in. So I'm gonna let you go for right now. So I want to get prepped up because I gotta go in on this guy.
I got you, brother. Hey, man, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, guys. For y'all, Speak Van Holding.
All right, I'm signing out.
All right, my brother. I'll talk to you soon. Big shout out to Speak Van Holding. Very appreciated. Thank you for his collaboration. Thank you for his takes. Thank you for his patience. Thank you for all the good that he gave us to our community. I want to get to the chat room real quick before we go. I want to send big shout out to Tell It to Ellie. Please go and subscribe to her channel. Big shout out to Amy Conway. Thank y'all for being here. So very much appreciated. Top Petite, my brother from another mother. Very appreciated. Thank you for being here. Give me 1 second. I've been having these technical difficulties over here on my side of the fence. Big shout out to Sergeant Popeye. Thank you for being here. Very appreciated. My brother Telpati, Jane. Let me get to the chat real quick. Amy Conway, Mel remember warrants for delivery trucks. Hatchback truck, Kiely links, deactivated. Come on, how can he be charged? Right. Tapati. They haven't had presumed innocence for decades. Facts. It's always you are guilty until proved innocent, and it's backwards. It is, bro. It is. It is. You know, the presumption of innocence is really not applicable because they literally treat you as presumed guilty at all time. Like it just how it is. Um, Tell it to Ellie, agree, and she works in the county with Dylan's uncles, newly given positions as prosecutor into Cutina County. Yep. Yeah, tell it to Ellie. In chat room, the powers to be. For example, in this case, the University of Idaho had the influence to put people in position. Even for the family members of the victims, they have care packages for them. They'll put them in positions. They'll due to what is being occurred. Then now the University of Idaho be backing them up and anything they need and whatnot, trying to avoid a lawsuit. They will create care packages. They're not, I bet you they've been having care packages drop off to the victims of the families since the very beginning. You're not gonna tell me you're not gonna brainwash some family members of the victims to comply to you in such an amazing way just because they have all the two children in that university, and it's cool for you to tell, well, we got you about you scholarship, yeah, we're gonna put you in the position to win. We understand you lost one son, but you still have two others that you as a parent have to look after, right? So what about we put you two children in a great position to succeed in our great institution of the University of Idaho? We will make sure that y'all be taken care of. But then y'all need to make sure that we will be taken care of. It's way to sacrifice people without sacrificing them. Just accepting the terms of the sacrifice that put you within the sacrifice. So it sucks, and it sucks to say. And this is I'm gonna close it with this. And again, big shout out to the chat room. I appreciate y'all so much. I love y'all. We without y'all is no me at all. I just gotta keep it 100. But I have a problem. Big major problem with the Idaho 4 case. Everyone participating on the prosecution of this case in court, law enforcement, parents, students, everyone involved. And I repeat, everyone. Ann Taylor, Bill Thompson, Judge, the judge of the secret indictment, the jury of that secret indictment, probably the majority of them, at least one or two. But everyone links to the University of Idaho. Everyone. Dylan's mom, Maddie's boyfriend, parents and family members, Jack Decor, the coroner, she's on the faculty, Chief Fry, everybody. This case is compromised. Everyone owns loyalty to the University of Idaho. Everyone belongs to the University of Idaho. This case is being influenced. The decisions that are being taken to is not on benefit. Is not looking after the benefit of the victims because they already dead. It's on benefit of the living. So everything that is going on right now is on benefit of the University of Idaho. Not even for the victims. The families of the victims will get more compensation than the victims deserving the compensation of justice. That's the best compensation that we could give these victims. Justice. So now you're going to explain to me the victims are not going to get no justice, but the family members are going to get paid. Now you tell me, is it way to sacrifice someone without sacrificing them? I believe it's ways to have a sacrificial lamb without even knowing it that you have it. Because at the end of the day, the powers to be, even though these things happen, are going to put you in position to win, I believe that 9 times out of 10, the living will forget about the dead. I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you so much. There's really not much that we have to say about that after these closing statements. Believe in yourself, because I believe in you. If I did it, you could do it too. I ain't nothing special. I believe that you're going to take the best decisions in your life for yourself and for everyone around you. As always, your brother, the host of the most, the king to the tango, the yin to the jangle. Your mother's favorite son, the black sheep, Jrod on point. Big shout out to Speak Bang Holding. Thank you for being here. Very appreciated. Very humble. And the whole chat, y'all know who you are. Amy Conway, tell it to Ellie. Big shout out to Sergeant Popeye. Big shout out to everyone. Todd. Everyone that was here. Jane. Joanne. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. And I really keep y'all very close to my heart. I really appreciate y'all. And I miss y'all when I'm not here live. So as you can see, we're going to keep working on the content for the other pages, and we're going to keep pushing forward to more true crime. Love ya. Stay tuned. Subscribe. Click like. Share. Love ya. Have a good day. Bye.